What did humans do before electricity? Believe it or not, life still went on. When night came, there were no electric lights. Darkness arrived quickly. So people used simple oil lamps to create a little light. If they needed to go outside, they carried lanterns or torches. And instead of streetlights, they looked up at the moon and stars. 6. Fire was incredibly important. It gave people warmth, light, and comfort. But keeping that fire alive meant collecting plenty of wood. Evenings were often spent near the fire, reading or talking. Reading after sunset was possible, but only with candlelight. People wrote letters and books slowly, using simple tools.
And how did they know the time? They used clocks, sundials, and nature. The sunrise itself was one of humanity's oldest alarms. During the day, the sun helped people measure time. Water clocks could also measure passing hours. Most people simply worked around daylight. They repaired tools by hand, using basic materials and patience. Almost everything required human effort. Transportation was slower too. Carts and animals did the heavy work. Food was prepared without electric ovens, microwaves, or refrigerators. Fire and simple cooking pots were the kitchen technology. Even getting water could be a daily task. People pulled buckets from wells by hand. Washing clothes also meant plenty of physical work. And torn clothes were repaired instead of quickly replaced. Markets were busy places where people bought and traded goods. There were no electronic payments. People traded with coins, goods, or services. Simple scales helped merchants measure what they were selling. But life wasn't completely boring. People gathered together, told stories, laughed, and shared news. At night, the sky itself became... People watched the stars to understand time, seasons, and direction. Traveling after dark was harder, so lanterns were essential. Without GPS, travelers depended on signs, landmarks, and memory. Rivers were crossed using simple wooden boats, and every journey depended on human hands. Machines existed, but they were powered by people, animals, wind, or water. Moving heavy supplies could be exhausting. For entertainment, people made music themselves. There were no speakers or streaming apps. Live music was the experience. And when the day ended, people simply went to sleep. Morning arrived naturally, often with sunlight. Then, the cycle began again. Work started with the daylight, not an electric alarm. Farming, building, cooking, and traveling all depended on human effort. Life was slower, but people adapted to it. Then, electricity changed everything. Suddenly, darkness could disappear with the flip of a switch. The difference is amazing. One small bulb replaced hours of candlelight. But before electricity, humans weren't helpless. They were incredibly creative. They used fire, water, sunlight, animals, and teamwork. Electricity didn't create human ingenuity. It amplified it.